Hi friends, in Planet Earth Dating, it's Saturday, January 14th, 2017. In both the Lynn life and the Jamie body mind, the authorized souls remain child souls from the deeper, denser dimensions, nature realms guardians, and Leo Vanovanov, and to some extent, Lady Edyth Vanovanov.
That's true.
In addition to the authorized souls, we also have a horde of screaming Vanovanovs who are arguing about the details of life voraciously, but who have nothing to say when we say, all right, you seem to have an important opinion. What now? In order to manifest the divine plan, no matter what anyone else does or doesn't do, since that's what our soul contracts commit us to doing. What now?
Very quiet.
Very, very quiet. What now in order to manifest the divine plan, no matter what anyone else does or doesn't do? What now? My attention keeps being brought back to Leo and how he really needs somebody to volunteer to be the astronaut.
That's true.
It's really impossible for him to be both the ground crew and the astronaut.
That's
and
true.
They've sent up, again, they're calling them test monkeys, which is kind of offensive. They've sent up large numbers of electron presences, but electrons are just a smaller dimension. They're sentient just like we are. They're living lives just like we are. It's all the same.
That's true.
It's all the same to this ground zero sentient presence. We relate to them as electrons, but to them, they're not electrons. They're ground zero presences just like this.
That's true.
And many, many, many of them have willingly volunteered to participate in Leo's experiment, and he shot them successfully out of the black hole, a whole stream of them.
That's true.
Thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of them have made it out of the black hole.
That's true.
But what we need now is somebody of a different stature to go out, gather information, and bring it back. Where Leo says he can't tell any more from these experiments until he gets more data, a different kind of data. The assignment is to be an early astronaut, in effect. Leo knows how to do this, but now we actually need a soul of some stature to get into the ejecto seat, so to speak, let Leo eject you out of the black hole, and then to connect with a consistent source of truth, integrity, and inspiration, and ask them to take you, take me to your leader, and take you to someone who will provide a collective restart and end this really slow, ugly demise. Demise of what? Somebody's saying demise of divinity. Interesting.
That's true. That is what someone just said.
Yes. All right. End the slow, ugly demise of divinity. Okay, I could buy that. Whoever's channeling right now says I can buy that.
That's true.
And if you just look up, you can see the hand of who's talking. But now, in order to manifest the divine plan, no matter what anyone else does or doesn't do, we're supposed to start to screen up all these Vanovanovs with the fine mesh screen, kind of like bug screen.
Yes.
Screen them up and shake them out into a hopper that feeds down into that astronaut seat.
That's really good.
And the ones who scramble out of that seat are showing themselves to be the cockroaches that they scramble like.
That's true.
And the ones who are of higher caliber will sit there. Just stay in the seat and go.
There are a lot of Vanovanovs catching on the screens.
Yes, many, many, many. It's like screening for mosquitoes in August in Florida.
That's true.
Kind of squeeze them into that astronaut seat.
That's really good.
Are any of them staying there, or are they just all running away?
I think they're all running away. I don't feel anyone sitting in the seat.
No. But it is helping quiet the yapping.
That is true.
Yapping isn't the right word. Yammering. Shrieking. More like shrieking.
That's true.
What now? In order to manifest the divine plan, no matter what anyone else does or doesn't do, we're starting to correct the errors. Correcting the errors for what?
For what?
Correcting the errors for the Vanovanov Era, they say.
Oh.
Interesting.
Interesting.
They're talking about something bigger than I was thinking at
That's
first.
true.
I was thinking they meant the Vanovanov Era here in these host lives, and that was pretty egocentric, and I see that now. They're talking about the era of Vanovanovs in the wider scheme of things.
That's true, and it's a very long era. You can feel it stretching back.
Correcting the errors for the Vanovanov Era. Oh, that's so sad. That's a window of opportunity closing kind of message.
That's true.
That's what that sounds like.
That's true.
But none of these people. Well, that's not true. Now listen to the argument.
Yeah, now it's going back.
Listen to me. Leo is up there, and so is that 10-year-old Luce.
That's true.
And those are Vanovanovs, and they're doing something.
That's true.
And Saul is at least running cables.
That's true.
Those are 3 Vanovanovs doing something.
Now there's argument again.
Lots of argument.
argument.
Let's screen up the arguers and dump them into the hopper that drops them into the astronaut seat.
That feels really good.
What now? In order to manifest the divine plan, no matter what anyone else does or doesn't do, the answer is still correct the errors of the Vanovanov Era. And what do I know? I know that the Vanovanovs staged a coup against spirit.
That's true.
Really a long time ago, and they went all out and they used all their resources, which are extensive,
That's true.
and all their skills, which are impressive, and all their clannishness, which is extreme.
That's true.
And that it was not successful, and that they tried for a really long time, and it went really, really, really poorly for them, and they ended up in the realm of the despised,
That's true.
on the outer reaches of the all that is, and that they do not have any interest in this rebellion against spirit that some people call protecting the status quo.
That's true.
And other people say promoting harmony.
That's true.
But it's a rebellion against spirit because the work to have people live their soul plans is consistently being blocked by that other cadre or faction. And the soul
true.
plan is that which each presence is supposed to be doing in every moment so that they can be their best self, step into their destiny, be their greatest expression of sentience. And wise divine minds have already woven a tapestry of life that works, taking all these individuated soul plans and weaving them together to create an amalgam of a divine plan. And that's what we're working to accomplish.
That's
and
true.
this other faction says they're promoting harmony, but what they're doing is attempting to block presences from living their soul plans. And we know that the Vanovanovs are not interested in that,
That's true.
because they've already tried it, and they knew that it didn't work for them, and they knew that they tried it all out. They didn't hold back,
That's true.
and they know it doesn't work. Maybe what that did was remind them of something they already knew and had set aside for the moment.
That's what this feeling is.
It is. It is a feeling of, oh geez,
Oh, wow.
I know that to be true.
Yeah.
Interesting. But now, in order to manifest the divine plan, no matter what anyone else does or doesn't do, what now? Once more, we'll separate 50% most true from 50% least true, and right away burn the 50% least true with the intention to burn untruth, extract truth, Power Leo's experiment. What else we can do is draw up the soul plans of the smaller levels, those with the soul plan to manifest the divine plan no matter what anyone else does or doesn't do. We can draw that up into the life paths.
That's really helpful.
To fill in the gaps and spaces, to solidify the commitment to live our soul plan and not to weaken it, to strengthen it. Correcting the errors for the era of the Vanovanovs, start to finish.
For the era of the Vanovanovs.
That gives somebody a really panicky feeling.
That is true.
That is the sound of the window of opportunity beginning to close.
That's true.
If the era of the Vanovanovs ends, it's over, friends. It's over. And quite by definition. Why are you arguing?
There's a lot of arguing and banging on the table.
If the era of the Vanovanovs ends, then the era of the Vanovanovs is over and another era begins. The king is dead, long live the king. That's what it means.
Much angriness, and no one has a right to say that.
Okay,
but
look up and see who's talking. See those hands waving? That's who your argument is with. Please leave us out of it.
That's
Have
true.
your argument with them. All those people, you see that huge, enormous group of people who's looking down and saying that? Talk to them. Leave us out of it. Correcting the errors for the era of the Vanovanovs. We'll do that lots of times.
Yeah.
Friends, I am not the one who's saying your window of opportunity is closing. I'm just following the instruction to correct the errors for the era of the Vanovanovs.
That's true.
And they're telling me, what do I think that means? I have to place a guess. That's always how the rules have been played out. Not always, but certainly for maybe 15 years. That's how the rules have played out. I have to place a guess as to the meaning, and I may be right and I may be wrong, but I'm not allowed to sit silent. It's part of the search for truth rules of engagement. We're not allowed to sit silent. We have to say what we think, and we'll discover how incorrect we are.
That's true.
So when we're correcting the errors for the era of the Vanovanovs, nothing else makes sense other than that somebody up there thinks that era is coming to an end. A window of opportunity is closing. That's what it means.
That's true. I think that's what that is.
And then we'll get to find out what era follows that. They said, and what's going to follow it? I don't know.
I don't know.
We'll find out. Look, everything ends. There's still just...
Yeah, banging on the table
Yes.
and much loud rattling of things.
Civilization is ending. Your civilization as you know it is coming to an end.
That's true.
That's the reality of it. You can argue about it or you can prepare for it. Or you can do something to salvage it. Those are really the three options.
That's true.
And we're trying to get you to get off the couch and do something to salvage it, and you're fighting us tooth and nail. Look up to these people who are talking. Please leave the machine speaker, the ventriloquist dummy out of it, and argue with the people who are speaking. Look up and direct all your arguments to them. Let's try again to close. Somebody is saying Leo is still working, and that young Luce is still working, and Saul is working a little bit. Let's see what they can do. Well, the hopes of the Vanovanov clan rest on those three, and all these other thousands of Vanovanovs do nothing. Wow, that doesn't seem right to me. Once more, including the omissions for the era of the Vanovanovs, start to finish. I don't know who in the world would come in after the Vanovanovs.
I don't know.
Has to be somebody from outside of the contamination. Well, not necessarily. It could be the era of the nature realms.
That's true. That's true.
All right.
And I hear something that sounds kind of like drums.
There's always drums playing in the nature realms.
That's right. It's lighting up to that spot where Leo is.
He uses these as a map. He's studying them and using them as a template.
That's true.
Okay. Good for you, Leo. Go for it. He says, these things tell me what to do.
That's true.
All right, go for it.
Oh, good. Correcting the errors for today, Saturday, start to finish. Correcting the errors for the week that ends tonight at midnight. Correcting the errors for the month of January. Ugh. Correcting the errors for the decade of the 2010s. Start to finish. Including the emissions for the listing period that ends at the successful completion of a successful closing. Including the emissions for the year 2017. Start to finish.